9 News Chief Meteorologist Kathy Sabine is back after a month-long absence from 9 News after receiving treatment for skin cancer on her nose.
Well, as you can see, Kathy Sabine's back with us today.
Kathy joined me, Chris Bianchi, for an interview about her battle with skin cancer, where she's at now, and some of her top takeaways from her experience.
First of all, I think my main question for you, Kathy, we're really happy to see you back here. We really appreciate you being back here in the building. How are you doing right now?
I feel good. It was a little scary coming back, just not being here. You know, you kind of feel a little out of sorts. I'm hoping I remember all my passwords to the computer. But I also just feel a little different, and I feel like I look a little different. I'm only a month in to what will probably be a 4 or 5 month process. So I'm happy to be back, and just happy to be able to say thank you to everybody who has been so gracious to me and reached out.
With that, walk us through your skin cancer journey, how it came about, how you discovered it, and where you are here today.
Let's see. Well, I mean, the dermatologists in the state will tell you that having yearly skin checks should be part of your yearly, checkup. And because I'm a Coloradan, and I, like many Coloradans, love the outdoors, I do get my yearly skin checks because I ski, I hike, I bike, I spend time outdoors. It was a routine dermatology appointment where on the way out the door, I said, "What do you think about this age spot on my nose?" And she saw something she didn't like and sent me for what they call a punch biopsy to see if it was what she thought it was, which was a basal cell carcinoma. I couldn't see it with the naked eye. She saw it.
And that's eventually what led to the surgery. But the surgery, my understanding, Kathy, is that what was supposed to be perhaps a shorter surgery turned into a longer one, right?
Right, because initially I think we just thought it was one little spot and they would just kind of cut that out and sew it up. But I think because of the location on the side of my nose, it was complicated for them in terms of moving skin or grafting skin or the size of what the incision might be. We didn't really know. They told me there would probably be 2 surgeries, and that's what ended up happening. The first was a Mohs surgery, where they go in and they will take what they think is the skin cancer, look at it under the microscope, and then come back to you an hour later. If the margins are clear, you're done. They sew you up or they move you to the plastic surgeon. In my case, it took 3 cuts to get, and 3 hours to get all of the skin cancer out. And during that process, they found a second one up between my eyes. So yeah, so they say that skin cancer is like an iceberg. Like what you see on the tip is not what lies beneath, which can be deep and extensive.
And do you know your prognosis at this point, what the healing process is going to be like for you in the next few weeks?
Yeah, no, I'm great. They got it all. They're thrilled with my recovery. They say I'm ahead of recovery. The nose is still a little swollen on this side and misshapen, and there's still some tightening with the skin, so my eye still feels a little weird. But I'm grateful. They caught it, they got it, and I will be fine. I just need to be patient, and I'm not the most patient person.
Well, we've walked through the physical aspect of things. Yeah. Mentally, you get this phone call in late May, perhaps out of the blue, that you're told that you have skin cancer. What went through your mind?
I was like, no way. I couldn't believe it happened to me. I never thought this would happen to me. Never had anything burned off, never had anything that was suspicious, wore sunscreen, wore hats, had my yearly checks. I thought, are you sure? This can't be right. And he said, I'm sure. And he goes, the good news is you don't have melanoma. And I said, what do you mean good news? And apparently melanoma is the one that grows quickly, metastasizes, and there's a high mortality rate, for that. Most melanomas are found late, and there's only a 15 to 20% survival. Mine was a basal and a squamous, which are slow growing, will not kill you. So I said, why even take this out of my face? Why cut it out? I work on TV. Please, can we not? And he's like, no, you have skin cancer. We have to take it out because apparently cancers on your face will just turn into an open wound and become impossible to repair. So I was like, okay, yeah. You're the boss. I work in TV, right? Yeah.
So initially after the surgery, you mentioned the rather intrusive nature of that surgery as well. What was the recovery like in July and now here into early August?
Yeah, the punch biopsy was on May 26th. The surgery was on July 8th. Skin cancer is on the rise in Colorado, so everybody has to wait to get into a Mohs surgeon or a plastic surgeon. I had both surgeries the same day. The Mohs surgery, which should have been 1 hour, took 4, which delayed the plastic surgery where I went under anesthesia, which is where he was going to see if he could graft skin, or he wasn't sure what he was going to have to do. But I do have a piece of ear cartilage in my nose now, and the ear actually hurt more than the nose. But this will help keep the shape of my nose eventually. It's still a little bit swollen, but yeah, I look like the Bride of Frankenstein. And, you know, I did freak out when I saw myself, but they told me, you're going to be okay. You're going to be fine. It's just going to take a little time. And so, you know, I'm a month in and just kind of starting to work with the makeup and all of that, but getting there. I'm just happy to have the opportunity and the platform to get the word out about this, because I didn't know how just common this is in Colorado, and so many people reached out with love and support and shared their stories and were so vulnerable and just talked about how scary it is to see yourself with the jagged scar and the stitches, and how that can be isolating and depressing. And I'm just happy to be back today. Not perfect, obviously, but if I can give hope to one person out there that you can get through this, you'll be okay. We're not going to be the same, but you can go back to work and have your life and, you know, be okay. You know, that's an important part of this, I think.
Well, you mentioned before we came on here that a lot of the reaction you got on social media in particular was that perhaps there's a bit of a stigma that was perhaps attached, that people may be a little bit scared to share their stories, but you got an overwhelming outpouring of support and people mentioning that they've had this as well.
Well, I think, you know, as a woman, and an aging woman on television, the first thing you think of is not to post a picture of yourself on social media, you know, when you are recovering like that. But I knew once they told me I would be out for weeks, I posted a picture just to let people know, because I do have people that care, that have been watching me for 29 years, that might be wondering, where is she? I just put that out there, and the response was so surprising and overwhelming, because I think when you have a skin cancer on your body, people, they take care of it and they go on with their lives. They don't talk about it. And when it's on your face, I'm finding people they just kind of shell up in their homes and hide out. And so, you know, I just think people aren't talking about how common this is and how dangerous it is and how important it is to get the facts and get checked, because what that dermatologist can see in 10 minutes is something you can't see, you know, and they can fix you before it becomes something that becomes, you know, more dangerous down the road.
So with that in mind, what sorts of tips do you have to share? What should we be looking for, and how do we prevent this happening?
Well, I mean, I would find a dermatologist. I mean, there's so many amazing dermatologists in the state. Advanced Dermatology, where I went, they have locations all across the state. And just make it a part of your yearly checkup. You know, when you go to the doctor and get your physical, just add that on to it. It's so important. People aren't thinking about it. They're not doing it. We live at elevation. We love to recreate here in Colorado. The sun is dangerous. And skin cancer in Colorado is for real. And people got to get the facts.
And so I guess the big takeaway here is make sure that you're adding on a dermatologist visit each year to your visit. We tend to think about going to the doctor and kind of getting your blood pressure checked, cancer screenings, things like that. But dermatology is not necessarily
something people are doing.
Exactly.
And I've had hundreds of people reach out and say, I've been looking at this spot for a year, and I'm afraid to go in. I don't have time to go in. Why should I go in? I saw your story and your scary pictures. I'm making that appointment. There's a lot of people, including people in this newsroom, who have come to me and said, I've been looking at this spot for about a year and now I'm going to go. Good for you. I mean, good for you. If I can, you know, make a difference with one person, you know, I'll be vulnerable and open and just put it all out there, you know. And that's the other thing. I think people think that people on TV are not real people. And sometimes we maybe have this, you know, I don't know, maybe they see this perfection or something, or this image of a perfect life, and they think, oh, that can't, you know, there can't be anything ever wrong there. And we are real people, and bad things do happen, and we're just like everybody else, you know? Absolutely. And that's the other thing, too. So, but this is an amazing state with amazing people, and the love and support that I have gotten from the 9 News viewers and our community as a whole. It is very humbling, and it's also given me the courage to come back when I don't look perfect and I still have a scar and it's still a little puffy and misshapen, because there's a lot of love out there and I can feel it, and I'm grateful.
It's a story I'm sure we all want to hear. Any final takeaways or thoughts or anything that you want to share about your journey?
I guess just that headline, I never thought it could happen to me. I thought I was doing everything right, and it did happen to me, and it can happen to you. But if you get the facts and get checked, it can maybe not be a big deal, you know, and it could save a life.
Absolutely. So make sure you add that dermatology visit to your annual checkup list, and make sure you get that spot checked out. Kathy, thank you so much for being vulnerable, for being back here at 9 News, and we really appreciate a few minutes of your time here.
Thank you for being interested, and thank you for helping me get the word out about this, because that's what it's all about. I don't really want it to be about me. It doesn't feel good to have like that hot spotlight on you, but if we can get this information out there and get people thinking or move them to action, I'm here for it.
As you mentioned, one person could potentially save a life.
Yep.
No doubt about it. But thanks again, Kathy. We appreciate it.
Thank you.